please welcome Phosphorescent to the Leon Loft.
Thank you for that. Thanks for being here, y'all. Thanks for having me. That was the best introduction I've ever had. So thanks for that. I hope I live up to it. This is a song called Revelator. It's the title track off of the upcoming record. I got tired of sadness. I got tired of all the madness. I got tired of being a badass all the time. It's only survival, only not dead upon arrival, only ahead of every rival that we find. And we've ridden beyond where we could safely touch down. And we're out in the void past where we could have turned around. I tried my feet on the floor, tried to beat on the door, but it didn't even make a sound. I got my heart open wide, but the city been shut down. It's easy to go, babe. It's just an easy yes or no, babe. It's just an easy way to throw away what we have. I don't need a letter. I don't need anybody better. I don't need anybody ever. I never have. And you're ridden beyond where you could safely touch down. And you're out in the void past where you could have had turned around. Hey, I told you before, I needed you more, but it didn't even make a sound. I got my heart open wide, but the city been shut down. Now sooner or later, it's just an empty elevator. It's just the song of the Revelator on every floor. Now how can I get it right? I don't even like what I write. I don't even like what I like anymore. But I'll stand in the yard and watch the evening come down. And I shuffle the cards when all the idiots come around. Hey, I told you before, I needed you more, but you couldn't even turn around. I got my heart open wide, but the city been shut down. I got my heart open wide, but the city been shut down. Hey, I told you before, I needed you more, but you couldn't even turn around. Got my heart open wide, the city been shut down. Got my heart open wide, the city been shut down. Got my heart open wide, the city been shut down.
Before we get to the new album, though, I did want to ask you about something else. I do want to ask about an album that came between C'est La Vie and that was in 2018 and then now. It was an album of covers. It was called The Full Moon Project. This is about 2 years ago. Vic Chestnut to Tom T. Hall, Dylan to the Bee Gees, Randy Newman, Lucinda Williams. I mean, just great songs. But songs you love, obviously. But I would think, and it's usually the case, that when songwriters cover other songwriters, they learn something about how that songwriter deals with their craft, you know? Like what they do and how they convey emotion. It's more than just listening to and admiring a song. right?
I think that's absolutely true. Yeah. You learn. I want to do more of it. To be honest, I feel like you. Yeah, you learn. You think that you know these kind of songs especially those songs that I did on that thing, was just like, I didn't have to pick them. You know, I just kind of knew I wanted to play these songs at some point, and so would start to record them, and then all of a sudden would be, shocked at like, you don't know them. It's amazing what's going on in all these things. Which I think is, it's endlessly fascinating.
Some of those songs are so deceptively, they're deceptively simple.
Totally.
And then when you act, and if you're listening to it and you're singing along with it, you go, "Oh, yeah, that's a great song, sure." Yeah. But then if you have to actually dissect it and figure out how you're going to do it, like you have to go, "Wow, what were they? How did they do that?"
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's truly, some of my favorite stuff is digging into that stuff.
And I'm curious also if that project was completed before you started writing for Revelator, or if perhaps you were writing these new songs as you were interpreting their songs. You've called the song Revelator the best song you ever wrote. So all of this was happening sort of in the same period.
Best song I ever wrote, not the best song ever wrote.
Did I say my mistake? I'm sorry. The best song you ever wrote. And that got me thinking, well, taking inspiration from some of these great writers maybe propelled you forward. But I don't know what the timeline was there.
No, the timeline, it should have been that, actually. The timeline was, I got this idea that I would put out a song every full moon. And I had already signed on with this new label, Verve, and I thought I would record 12 songs and just kind of put them out on the full moon while I was working on this new record. But it didn't happen like that at all. It was like I was at midnight every full moon before finishing up this song to get it out the whole year. So I didn't work on this record at all, much to the label's concern. And but finally put that thing down in December of that year. Put the last song out, and then and then started working on this new record in January. Kind of in earnest, and I had like little snippets of tunes, kind of because I kind of always do, but I hadn't sat down and tried to like figure out what it was, or I just hadn't had any success with it. But then it was kind of real go time at that point. And so I ended up having to take a couple weeks here and there to kind of go and just be by myself in a silly Airbnb thing right down the road, and just start really trying to write. And Revelator was the song that kind of opened it up for me, and I realized what that song was, and then kind of the rest of the record really just kind of quickly came into place. In that way.
We're going to talk about how that all kind of came together in just a second. What do you want to do next? You've done the best song you ever wrote. You want to do the second best song you ever wrote?
We can all just go home now, I guess. Here's the second song off that record, and it's a song I didn't write. My partner Jo Shornikoff wrote it, and she wrote this song. She had made a record called Altar, and she had played me this song, and I thought it was one of the best songs I've ever heard. And then she put out a record and didn't put it on there. So I, quickly used my brain and said, well, can I have that song? Can I record it? And it worked perfectly because it really was part of what, like, it just slotted right into this, I don't know, once you get started making a record, a lot of times, I think if you're on the right path, things just happen sort of serendipitously or something like that. So anyway, this song just slotted right in. It's a real bummer of a song, and I'm sorry to be doing this at noon on was it Monday? Is it
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's a way to spend noon on a Tuesday. This song's called "The World Is Ending." Like a California woman with a global point of view, You wear it well, it's unbearable. You found it in Peru. Well, 5 stars, great, you got it made. I've been reading the reviews. It's a new world, babe. I can't behave as if I know what to do. 'Cause I belong to an older song. It's a feeling unrelenting. And I might have apologized, but I have never been wrong. I know the world is ending. Your birth inspired spontaneous choirs, angels heralding you. The psychic's vision came to pass, the critics all withdrew. The palm leaves laid for you to play on, they sway as you come to. And all of this new happiness makes it all the more uncouth that I belong to an older song. It's a feeling unrelenting, and I might have apologized, but I have never been wrong. I know the world is ending. Until they send some scientist to come and prove me wrong. Yeah, I know the world is ending. I know the world is ending. I know the world is ending.
Interestingly, that this is the first time ever in 20 plus years that you've ever had a song written by somebody else on your record. You explained the circumstances.
Yeah.
What?
You know, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I guess it, yeah. It just slotted right in. I don't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It doesn't, it feels like, also, I think a song like that is, yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of an apology. I mean, there's sort of an apology embedded in there, interestingly. And I don't know, it just got me thinking that, a life partnership is different than a creative partnership, most certainly. Is Joe your first sounding board? Like, is Joe going to hear your ideas first?
No, she's harsh. I learned a while back to not do that. No, I don't. For better or worse, I don't. I'd like to get better at maybe having a sounding board on some of this stuff, but I tend to not show it to anybody till it's fully written. I feel like I'm pretty. I don't know. It's something about the vulnerability of them or something like that. It doesn't take much in those early stages of a thing to have it just be like dashed against the rocks,
Sure. Yeah, right.
So
yeah,
I feel pretty protective of them.
Yeah,
you know
if it's
what I mean?
not done,
Yeah.
then it suddenly changes the whole equation for you.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I can see why you wouldn't do that. But that song, The World Is Ending Then, is followed by Fences and Impossible House. I'll let people discover these songs as they do. I'm not sure which ones perhaps you might do. But point being that, time changes all relationships, for better, for worse. This is a thing that happens. Is it uncomfortable, even if you're not sharing in advance or while it's being created, is it uncomfortable to unveil songs once they're completed that may not really address anything that you've actually talked about interpersonally?
These are all fair questions. I think it's, yeah, I think the answer's, yeah. I mean, I think we also, I can't put words in her mouth, I guess, but I feel like, well, there's two things happening, I guess. One is that it's just songs. Mm-hmm. And they aren't always, and very often are not true
Sure. No, sure.
You know?
Characters. That's what character
They're not,
development.
but sometimes they are, and I think we both know to, let songs be songs and let life be life. At least, I mean, that's going back to what you were saying about Phosphorescent. I appreciate that that it works, because I called this thing Phosphorescent all those years ago because I didn't want to call it Matthew Houck, and I feel like I try to keep a pretty, there's gray areas, but I try to keep a division between me as Matthew and whatever Phosphorescent is.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Light can come to you too.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That light is for you also.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Well, Phosphorescent, the definition, the thing that got me all those years ago was that it's not combusting. It's emitting light, but not burning itself up in the process, which I think is a nice thing.
Yeah. What do you want to do next?
Maybe I'll do Impossible House.
Excellent.
Yeah. This is also off the new record. You see the lines in the field as they curve away from you, as the rows go flashing by. They say the signs will reveal it, but they hardly ever do. And I know that can't be right. See, I was steadily moving, but now I'm steady standing still. So clearly set up to fail, I have to wonder what you're after. I see the lake in the evening as it's dripping off your skin, and I try to hold it tight. I try to shake off that feeling, but it just keeps slipping in, like the day into the night. Yeah, I've been seeing you suffering, and I see you suffering still. You have to take it apart, you have to make this matter. You have made an impossible house. 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 Took a look at the cards and I laid them out for you. Just a captain doomed to drown. I went and pulled the alarm and it played around the room. Yeah, you were laughing at the sound. Went to your palace and hid as the thieves approached the throne. Like that McAllister kid, you have been left at home alone. You've made an impossible house. You've made an impossible house. You've made an impossible house. You have made an impossible house. I seen your black limousine rolling slowly through the alley, all long and shiny and mean, with a license plate that just says nasty. You've made an impossible house. You've made an impossible house. You've made an impossible house. You've made an impossible house.
Thank you so much. Listen, you are hearing a Leon Loft broadcast, our 60th Leon Loft broadcast, and we're going to go back to the station now. We are continuing on, though, with Phosphorescent's Matthew Houck. The new album is Revelator, and it's coming out on April the 5th on the Verve label. The tour will start in May. You can find out more at phosphorescentmusic.com. And now back to more tunes on Ann Arbor's 107.1. All right. It's as simple as that. All right.
Well done, everybody.
Thank you, folks. All right. So, since that last album in 2018, the world hasn't become any less chaotic. Pandemic and political, social, environmental upheaval. It's taken a toll on all of us. It's your job, though, to either decide to wade into that, use that turmoil for ideas for a new song, or to find a way to not let it touch you, like to stay away from that. You mentioned an Airbnb. I'm just thinking if there are certain things that you wanted to do to keep all of that away.
That's, yeah, I think, well, okay. So when you're making these things, you don't always know what you're doing. Often you don't know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But, so I guess what I'm getting to is that when I heard this record, like a couple weeks after it was finally done, you know, you get into the details of making these things and you're just so deep into them, you don't, you know, you're like in the craft thing or whatever, so you don't really look, or I kind of stopped looking at what it is for a minute there, and then looking back at it after it was done, I kind of was struck by exactly that thing where I think my front brain had thought that that I had largely tuned out the world and things that were I don't know, I kind of, you know, was really inward looking. It's a really inward looking record, but it's also, I think, I was shocked to think that to see that I guess I probably was, well, affected by all this stuff.
Of course, sure.
You know?
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, I certainly wouldn't have thought I was writing anything about the, you know, global pandemic, but it's all in there, you know, it's you can't, I don't know. Yeah.
It's not, you know, but it's interesting. There's no item in there that's on the nose. Like there isn't anything where you go, oh, he clearly wrote that in June of 21.
Well, there's for me, weirdly. But I don't see it until later, and then I go, oh, well, that was clear. But yeah, I do think it is my job to not. I think songs need to have a little veil of good songs, anyways. So yeah, no, they're not. I think being on the nose is a trick you can do a couple times, but by and large, you shouldn't. You know?
Please avoid, yes. Yeah. I mean, there's a song in here called All the Same. Hidden lies and alibis, they're all the same. Like that really could have come right out of any number of newspapers, any number of days in the last few years, and but it's not on the nose. It's more a general statement, right? No. And then, as you mentioned, when you wrote Revelator, like the whole thing, the song Revelator, the whole thing kind of started to take shape. And you had ideas, snippets, but yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If like that became the framework for, okay, now
it's
I know
like
what
the
these
North
mean.
Star or something like generally, and it's happened the last. I mean, that's why the record's called Revelator, and that's why the record prior to this was called C'est la vie. That's why the record before that was called Muchacho. Each one of those songs was like the North Star that like really, you know, like was the thing that showed what to do. And then so therefore it kind of, sets the tone or something.
Yeah. Did it add context then to those idea fragments?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what this meant until I did this. Precisely. And now I know what it means.
Yeah. I think of songs as albums still in a major, you know, way. Like one song just seems like, I don't know, you know, a collection of songs is a different thing, you know, and then it starts making sense so yeah, I still enjoy listening to records as a whole, you know, much more than just single songs. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's just kind of yeah, the way I always think about it.
This makes a lot of sense as a whole record, like as a whole piece.
Yeah.
Well done. Another song. What do you want to do?
How about I do one of those full moon songs?
Yeah, sure.
So this was a song off that full moon project we were talking about. I know it's late, and I sure do hate to bother you, but you know you're the only one who knows what I've been going through. It's her keeping me up all night again. So I just had to call on you to ask a favor of a friend. Any old miracle, there's no need to send it around. Take a little bit of extra trouble, Lord. Be sure you send the right one down. 'Cause if I have to get over her, I need to talk to you. Just send me that one miracle. Any old miracle won't do. Oh Lord, I know so many others stand in need. You got troubles to attend to. You got hungry mouths to feed. But listen to me, Lord, I don't mean to take too much of your time. But just send me that one miracle to heal this heart of mine. Well, any old miracle, there's no need to send it around. Take a little bit of extra trouble, Lord. Be sure you send the right one down. 'Cause if I have to get over her, I'll need some help from you. So just send me that one miracle. Any old miracle won't do. Well, any old miracle, there's no need to send it around. Take a little bit of extra trouble, Lord, and be sure you send the right one down. 'Cause if I have to get over her, I'll need some help from you. Just send me that one miracle. Any old miracle won't do. Just send me that one miracle. Any old miracle won't do.
So you and your partner are raising kids. You got family. How old are the kids?
I got 3 of them.
Yep.
There's a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old and a 1-year-old.
So during the pandemic, yeah, right. Okay, so that was a lot of running around. Plus, you were home. I mean, where you weren't supposed to be,
Yeah.
most of the time. I mean,
Well, it was the first time in my life that that had stayed still that long. I got really into it.
well, yeah, because I mean that was right.
Yeah.
like that's a whole new experience, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Really. Yeah. Truly.
Yeah,
And I've been touring since I was 17. So yeah, I've been those years was it was interesting. It's like a whole. You're like you can not. You can sit still for a minute. Yeah.
A whole new revelation.
Yeah.
Revelation.
There you go.
So finally, I did want to ask about this because I see that you are doing the score for Paul Schrader's upcoming movie, which they're saying will be his last, called "Oh Canada." Your music has always had that cinematic quality to it. I'm thinking of this song from C'est La Vie, Black Wave, Silver Moon. I mean, in 6 minutes, that's a whole film right there.
Thanks.
Actually,
yeah.
somebody needs to make a film to that song.
Yeah.
Right? What kind of instructions are you getting at this point? Because this would be in the works, right? So
No, it's done.
Oh, it's done. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, as of a little bit ago, yeah, it was a cool experience. Really amazing. Yeah, he's a real character, super intense fella. I like him a great deal. But yeah, it was surprisingly not that. I don't know. It felt quite easy and enjoyable to do. I think I get a lot of like making these Phosphorescent records is a lot. There's a bazillion things that I get hung up on and worry about and all this stuff. So it's really fun to purely put music to somebody else's thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
You
was
don't have
really
to worry about
freeing in that. Yeah. And
Yeah.
kind of just put it up on a projector and watched the film a bunch of times and did a lot of it live to the picture. And I think it came out really well. And I recorded 3 or 4 songs off of my very first albums, which were, I don't think hardly anybody has heard them. And revisiting, because this song has the movie has there's a bit of a meta thing going on, I guess, where there's a guy kind of going back and forth in the timeline of his life and sort of rewriting some of his own history. So I kind of was like, bing, and I thought, like, I'll just
Rewrite some of mine.
Exactly, yeah. Kind of revisit these old songs, which bizarrely, like I dovetailed with what was happening in the movie so freakishly perfect. A few times it was like, well, this is, I couldn't have written something more appropriate if I'd. So it was really, it was just a cool experience all around.
When you were doing it to picture, did you set up and just sort of sit with guitar and watch, but just sort of unconsciously see where your hands, what was to convey the emotion that was going on the screen?
It's weirdly a lot of.
planning
I
it?
sat with a microphone. It's a lot of singing, like a lot of wordless vocalizing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was, and exactly that. Yeah. Just kind of, there were moments that we knew, it needed to have a thing, and yeah, it was, and you just kind of was, it was enjoyable. Yeah. And Paul came down for. I had done like some initial stuff, and then Paul came to my studio and for I think maybe 3 days, and we just sat, and he was really good at giving direction, and so it was, so he would be like, not that. I was like, okay, well, this and that, so it was kind of it was just really kind of organic way of just throwing paint at something,
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much for taking time today.
Thank you.
Revelator's new album, April 5th. We have time for one more. Y'all up for one more?
Cool. Thanks for the interview.
All right. Whatever you like.
Thanks so much, y'all. Thanks for coming. Some say love that it makes a fiery ring. Oh, but I know love as a fading thing, just as fickle as a feather in a stream. See, honey, I saw love. You see, it came to me. It put its face up to my face so I could see. And then I saw love disfigure me into something I am not recognizing yet. You see, the cage had called. I said, come on in. I will not open myself up this way again. Nor lay my face to the soil, nor my teeth to the sand. I will not lay like this for days now upon end. You will not see me fall, nor see me struggle to stand, to be acknowledged by some touch from his gnarled hands. You see, the cage had called. I said, come on in. I will not open myself up this way again. See, the moon is bright in that treetop night. I see the shadows that we cast in the cold, clean light. Hey, my feet are gold, my heart is white, and we race out on the desert plains all night. See, honey, I am not some broken thing. I do not lay here in the dark waiting for thee. No, my heart is gold, and my feet are light, and I am racing out on the desert plains all night. Some say love is a burning thing, that it makes a fiery ring. Oh, but I know love as a Cajun thing, just a killer come to call from some awful dream. Hey, and all you folks you come to see, you just stand there in the glass looking at me, but my heart is wild and my bones are steam, and I could kill you with my bare hands.